Right, John, thank you for coming in. What we're going to do now is something which is a little different for reasons that will become very obvious. This Ford Capri 2 Litre S that we've done nothing but talk about, by the way, is John's. And the story that goes with it way back when is fantastic, but the story of where it's going to go in the future is even better. So, John, tell us the story.
When I was 11 years of age, I used to play football by my mum and dad's house. And there was a gentleman who had the corner house, and every Sunday he'd bring this car out and polish it.
This very car?
This very car. So if you could imagine me, 11 years of age, red hair, freckles and cheeky as, and he'd chase us with the ball, because he'd be going, don't be ringing the ball near the car. So we'd run off and I'd be going, do you know what I mean? And giving him cheek, because that's the type of chap I am. And then I'd say to my friends, oh, when I grow up, I'm going to get me a car just like that. Because in those days, cars were black or white or cream, and this was like opal fruit green.
Oh, it's fabulous.
So I was sold on it. Then many years later, when I was like in my 30s, I was working on a building site, and one of the lads used to play football, turned up, he was a plasterer, and we just got chatting about, you know, old days and playing football. And it turned out he'd married into Ronnie's family, who'd owned the car. So he said to me, Ronnie's died, you know. And I was like, no way. And he said, yeah, he fell in the Mersey yesterday and contracted some sort of pulmonary disease and passed away.
See?
So I said, do you think his missus has still got the same car? And he went, I think she has. So I was like, oh. So my dad still lived in the same neighbourhood. So I asked him, I said, you know, if you see his wife and you offer your condolences, see if you can find out about the car. Not being mercenary, just, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So my dad sees a prune in the roses, and my dad could, like, he could charm the birds out the trees. Asked her about the car. Turned out he'd only been dead about 3 weeks. So I was like, oh. But she was still keen to sell the car.
Yeah.
So about a year went by. He'd given her the telephone number. Never heard another word. And next thing we got the phone call out the blue. She was ready to sell the car. So we went round, and it was like with trepidation as she opened the garage doors, and there it was. And it was pristine. I think it had only done 24,000 on the clock when we got it. Yeah, so bought the car. Wasn't concourse. The intention was to make it concourse, but then my dad got ill. He ended up with cancer and never finished the car. And then a few years back, we started doing the car again as a tribute, really, to my dad. It's been featured in lots of different magazines now. Like,
yeah, I've seen them.
Yeah,
lots of magazines.
Because my dad was a very unselfish man. But every month he'd buy himself a sports and classic car, and he'd dream about like the cars that were in it. Not that he ever bought himself one except for this. And yeah, it got featured. So that was another box ticked.
Well, that's a great story. It all started with a kid playing football against the wall.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Next to the car. And 30 years later, you say?
Yeah, about 30 years later, yeah.
Wow, what a story.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's only one part of the story. The next part, go on.
About 3 years ago, lost the youngest son. He was 15. He passed away due to glioblastoma. He was the most courageous, bravest person I've ever met. He was inspirational because throughout his illness, he never once complained, and he was always caring about how it was affecting everybody else. So it gave me the inspiration because there's an organisation called Click Sergeant who organise breaks for families who have terminally ill children, and it gave me the inspiration to buy a holiday home in Ireland, and I'm going to give free holidays to children and their families who are suffering with terminal illnesses, and I'm using the proceeds from this towards setting it all up.
It's amazing, John. So if ever anybody needs inspiration, the car it's unbelievable, by the way. It's absolutely fantastic. If you haven't seen it already, you need to come and see it. But that aside, the reason for the selling of the car is obviously very, very personal to John and his family. But what John is going to do with that money that this car makes, it's not often I can say on video, I'm stuck for words, but I have to say, in this case, you've got me, John. So,
thanks very much.
Well done.
Thank you guys, you've been fantastic. Yeah, absolutely recommend them.